Thank you once again for making Locked On Cougars your first listen of the day. Now, I say this all the time. You want to be a part of the Locked On Cougars insider group so you get the inside intel on what I'm hearing quite literally in the minutes that I'm hearing it. That's what happened yesterday. Any of you who signed up for the Locked On Cougars insider group, I sincerely hope that you enjoyed all of the updates I passed along yesterday. I feel like I was doing my absolute darndest to make sure you were up to speed on everything I knew about the situation, literally when I knew it. If you want that inside intel, join the Locked On Cougars Insider Group. There's a link in the show notes below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it wherever you get your podcast. Click that link, sign up. You get 14 days of a free trial to see if it's worth your while, and it's just $5 a month to be a part of the group beyond that. So join us today, get the inside intel that you crave, and keep apprised of everything going on around Kalani Sitake and BYU football with the Locked On Cougars Insider Group. All right. So BYU football plays a game on Saturday. Surprise, breaking news. Okay, just kidding. No, the situation at hand here is BYU is going into an absolutely pivotal matchup against Texas Tech. Win and you're in. Speaking of, if you win this game, speaking of BYU, you are going to the college football playoff. You have your chance, quite literally, for the first time since you won that national title in 1984, to play for the national championship. The door is right there. All you got to do is kick it down. Now, kicking that door down sure feels like it's going to be pretty darn difficult because Texas Tech, they are formidable. I've got no qualms in saying that this would be one of the finest wins, if not maybe the finest win in Kalani Sitake's tenure at the helm of the BYU football program, because just looking at how Texas Tech is constructed, how BYU performed last time against Texas Tech, it sure feels like it is a major uphill climb to win this game, but it's not impossible. That's why they played the games. These are not decided on paper. It's why you put the ball on the field, spot the ball. Let's see how it all goes down. The good news is, if you're talking about it from BYU's perspective, is there is reinforcements coming. Now, if you saw the depth chart come out yesterday, you may have noticed there are at least two names that I think are major re-additions to the roster for BYU. Number one, at running back, wearing the number 30, that would be the one, the only Sione Moa. Now, Sione Moa has not played since the East Carolina game. He's quite literally missed the entire Big 12 season after playing in the early part of the season as the backup to LJ Martin. Sione is considered to be the Robin to LJ's Batman, and to not have him, it's made it a pretty tough road for BYU in terms of LJ having to shoulder, quite literally, it feels like, a bigger load than you would have otherwise maybe had him shoulder. Well, Sione Moa, and I think it's pretty well documented now that he had what they call compartment syndrome in his thigh coming back from the East Carolina game. Compartment syndrome is absolutely horrifically scary, and any of you who do not know what it is, Google it. It essentially can cause you to lose limbs. Let's just be very blunt about this. BYU's medical team provided expert care. And the fact that Sione Moa, just months after suffering an absolutely just horrific injury of that magnitude, could be playing in this game against Texas Tech, it's a miracle in so many different ways to have him back on the field. And it absolutely bolsters BYU's chances if they have their 1-2 punch at running back to run behind what has been a pretty solid run-blocking offensive line. That front seven for Texas Tech, it is maybe one of the best, if not the best, in the entire country. And you're going to have to soften it up with your running backs. But to have two guys to be able to do that versus just LJ Martin, it feels like it helps BYU's chances. I'm not mincing words when I'm saying that re-addition. If Sione Moa is capable of spelling LJ and being effective, that would go a huge or long way towards BYU having an opportunity to maybe boost their chances in this game. Now, flipping over to the defense, there is another re-addition to the roster, and that is the name Justin Kirkland. Now, Justin was a big pickup out of the transfer portal coming over from Oklahoma State. He's a Utah native, having played at Roy High School, went to Utah Tech, went to Oklahoma State, and ultimately he's now come back to BYU. Well, he played 4 games earlier this season after having a slow start to his campaign due to a lingering knee issue. And there were some people who thought, okay, he played his 4 games, and Jay Hill said he's going to redshirt. Well, all of a sudden yesterday, the depth chart came back out, and his name's back on the depth chart. And I had to, trust me, a number of you ask about this. Well, here's the deal. Postseason games of this variety, speaking of championship games, bowl games, playoff games, any postseason game of any variety, as of 2024, no longer count against redshirt rules. So Justin Kirkland, he is planning on redshirting and coming back next year with the whole thought of playing, like a full season, 12 plus games for BYU. Well, he has an opportunity now to play this week against Texas Tech. And no matter what the future of the postseason holds for BYU, he is also available for that. I can tell you, having been at practice, that he has been working diligently towards being as healthy and as available as he possibly could be, with the whole goal in mind of this game. He will help anchor BYU's defensive front against, similar to BYU, a very, very strong rushing attack for Texas Tech. Having him in the middle at 340, whatever they list him at, pounds, it's nice to have him as a rock in the middle that you can throw out there on the field in short yardage downs and distances, and just to essentially put a wall up in the middle of the defense for BYU. That will help Keanu Tanavasa be better. That'll help John Tamoya Payao be better. It will help BYU's entire defensive line play better, knowing that Justin Kirkland is there to take on double and triple teams, and he relishes playing that style of football. You just ask him about it. He chuckles. He's like, this is my favorite thing to do. I love just getting down and dirty in the trenches. It's nice to have that coming back for BYU. These are the reinforcements. And I'm not saying that it's going to put BYU over the top, because as I mentioned already, it is an uphill climb to be very serious about how much of a challenge I look at Texas Tech as being. But the nice part is there are players coming back that should help BYU boost their opportunity. The other thing is LJ Martin being 100%, or it's close to 100%, far more healthier than he was the first time BYU faced off against Texas Tech. That helps them as well. So it sure feels like BYU is in as good a position, it feels like, as they could hope for going into this game. Will it be enough? TBD. And in many respects, I don't even know if it will be enough. But all you can hope for is that these guys coming back to the lineup, and I've just kind of highlighted 2 or 3 of them that are coming back to the lineup here, because I haven't even talked about a guy like Waylon Lapuaho, who could bolster BYU's offensive line, because Waylon's been a mainstay for BYU at left guard when he's been available, but he's been kind of beset with injury this season. Let's say he comes back in his full go. That only makes BYU's offensive line that much better, thereby also lending itself to LJ Martin and Sione Moa being more effective in their roles as running backs. All of this works in concert with one another, but to have as close to 100% healthy roster as BYU has had quite literally in months, I'm just saying it gives BYU more than a fighting chance than I would have thought they had maybe just a week ago as they get ready for this Texas Tech game. So, I think we covered a lot today. So thank you, honestly, for all of your support. I don't know what I would do without you guys being a part of this literally every single day. To the dozens of you who joined the Locked On Cougars Insider Group in the past 48 to 72 hours, thank you. Thank you for trusting me with that money, because it's I know it's $5, but it's still money that you guys work for literally every single day, and you're sharing it with me. And that supports what I do here on the podcast, and it furthers what we're doing ultimately with this platform. So huge week ahead. We got plenty to discuss, and I'm still planning on catching up with Chris Level from Locked On Texas Tech for a crossover edition to kind of get into the weeds when it comes to this matchup. Drake Toll, I know that he wants to do a show as well. We got a lot of content coming down the pipe. And oh, by the way, yours truly, I'm planning on being in Dallas this weekend for that game to cover it as best I possibly can. And you want to talk about where that money that you guys invest in this podcast goes? It goes exactly to this, reinvesting in what we're doing and allowing me to go out to Dallas, Texas to cover this game, because it quite literally might be the biggest game in 4+ decades of BYU football. All right, that is going to do it. As always, truthfully, thank you for making Locked On Cougars your first listen of the day. If you have not done so already, make Locked On Big 12 your second listen of the day. Drake's doing an incredible job covering all things across the Big 12, and also, obviously, plenty to talk about with regards to Kalani Sitake and the BYU head coaching situation, but BYU football in general. Check that out. And as always, once again, thank you for being an everydayer right here on the Locked On Cougars podcast.